Covington Catholic School has reopened, but the violent threats against the students have not stopped. In fact, the Covington Diocese received a suspicious package just tonight. We shared tweet after tweet with you from celebrities, liberal commentators calling for attacks and even the death of these teenagers. Tonight, some hope that this hate speech will not go unpunished. Joining me now exclusively for his first national television interview is Rob Sanders. He's the prosecutor for Kenton County, Kentucky, where Covington Catholic High is located. Rob, it's good to see you. What kind of charges could realistically be filed, and against whom?
Well, we have a number of different charges in Kentucky that might apply. The one that jumps out the fastest is terroristic threatening. Now, there's 3 different degrees of terroristic threatening in Kentucky. 2 of them are felonies. The most common one, I think, that might apply in this situation is terroristic threatening 2nd degree. That's any time that someone threatens death or violence against a educational institution in Kentucky or any student in the educational institution in connection with the school function. Now, that is a Class D felony. It's 1 to 5 years in the state penitentiary. That could rise to 5 to 10 years in a Class C felony if the person threatens that violence or death in connection to an educational institution in the use of a device of mass destruction or weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah,
so
well,
in other words, if they
this is happening on Twitter, though.
That would double the price.
Mr. Sanders, this is happening on Twitter from different states,
yes,
different
ma'am.
locations. Does that hinder the prosecution? I mean, they don't really need an I mean, you have to interview these people. They're in different states. You're going to have to get to them somehow.
It makes it much more difficult. It makes it much more difficult, much more complicated. Number one, there's a number of misdemeanors that could apply in a lot of these cases, but we can't reach across state lines and extradite for misdemeanors,
right,
which means we would have to wait for the person to come back to Kentucky or make a stop in Kentucky before we could ever arrest them. But when it comes to the offenses that rise to the felony level, we can extradite. Now, it's not as easy as arresting a Twitter handle. We can't reach out and just arrest someone who half the time they're using a fake name, fake profile picture, that sort of thing. We have to go through a process of issuing subpoenas, search warrants, getting the
well, are you going to do this?
Information that goes with it's already underway. I've had detectives in and out of my office all day today. We were starting with some comments, some threats that were made in state, because those are people that we don't even have to extradite, and we are moving on then to the ones that are out of state. We've had the detective that works in my office has already been busy issuing grand jury subpoenas and composing search warrants for detectives at other agencies that are sending it out there so we can get the information associated with the ownership of these accounts. We get the IP addresses that are registered to these accounts.
You got to get these people.
Then we find out.
I mean, you're only one office.
We find out who uses the internet at those IP addresses.
Yeah, we got the IP addresses. We're going to follow up with you later in the week to find out where you are on this. But this has to happen. Because until people
what's going to happen? Everybody's
have to go to jail.
Realize
they have to go to jail. It's got to hurt. Otherwise, someone's going to get hurt. And I fear we're about to talk to Steve Scalise, who felt it in a different way. Someone's going to get hurt, or someone's going to get killed. Prosecutor, I really appreciate your joining us, and we'll have you back. I know it's a longer segment. You got a lot of people to talk to, so we appreciate it.